On today's episode of the Superboy Legacy podcast, we will be talking about our favorite episodes from Season 1. Dun, 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 dun.
That's the wrong theme.
Oh, damn it. I was going to play the Lois and Clark theme. Damn it. So, on today's episode, we are going to talk about our favorite episodes from Season 1. And today I have with me Superboy fan, who I've known for a long time. And he's been a big contributor to Superboy Legacy with the podcast and with the website. Tom Gallagher, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
And it's been a pleasure.
It's cool. We've done 2 commentaries now, and this is my first time on the podcast.
Yeah,
awesome.
welcome.
I'm excited.
It's been a pleasure having you on the commentaries, having a longtime Superboy fan do commentaries with me. So, it's been a blast, and we've had so much fun. We looked at Roads Not Taken, and we the two-parter, and we looked at the initial Bizarro episodes from Season 2, and that was a lot of fun. So if you haven't listened to those, make sure you go and either subscribe on SoundCloud and YouTube and check them out. It's a supplemental feature to the main podcast, so we hope you enjoy. But
just don't panic if you look on the videos on YouTube and the Bizarro one's not up yet, because at the moment we don't know which one will go up first.
Right.
So this may go up before the commentary, but we'll see what happens.
Well, we're going to talk about Season 1. And Season 1 consisted of 26 episodes. And Superboy was played not by Gerard Christopher, as everybody knows, but by John Hames Newton. He was the initial Superboy that was cast by Lynn Stallmaster, who cast Christopher Reeve and Helen Slater. So there's a little bit of Superman the movie trivia right there for you. So let's talk about, we'll do it in blocks of 5. Let's break it down. We'll look at the first 5 episodes and we'll just talk, from those 5, we'll pick, from those initial 5, we'll talk about which out of those 5 was our favorite. And then we'll go down the rest of the season that way.
Okay. So that sounds good.
Is that okay?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure which one I'll choose out of the first 5, because the first 5 aren't particularly good.
Yeah, well,
I mean, a tough one.
You know what? In defense of Season 1, I look at as like the 1950s Adventures of Superman. It was the testing ground. He fought criminals. He was getting his legs under him as Superboy. Clark was trying to figure out, how do I play this other character in public? How do I become the superhero? So I look at Season 1 as him testing, as well as the television production, trying to figure out how to put a television show together, with Superboy, because
they had teething troubles, as I like to say.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
took them a while to get their teeth into what the show would actually be.
Well, you had the Salkinds coming from films to television for the first time, and they didn't know what a commercial break was. So, and you could see they struggled those first 13 on figuring out story beats and drama, building up towards the commercial break. They didn't know how to do that. So
I think their main idea of what to do as a television show versus a movie is spend a lot less money.
Right.
That's about it.
Right. But they did a lot of great things that first season, The flying effects with Bob Harmon, again, another Superman alum from the Superman films and Supergirl they brought on. It was just, they did a lot of great stuff, utilizing the people from the films and bringing them over to television. They brought a number of the comic book writers over, and they had a big part in Season 1. Fred Freiberger, Andrew Helfer, Michael Carlin, these were all veterans of comic books from Marvel and DC. Mike Carlin would go on to be uh, the main editor for all the Superman titles in the early 90s. So, like, they were steeped in comic books. You know, they had all these comic book writers. They had Colin Chilvers, who worked on the Superman films, direct a number of episodes. They had Jackie Cooper, Perry White himself, direct 2 episodes that first season. So, but let's get down into season 1 and break it down. So,
Let's do it.
So episodes 1 through 5. So episode 1, The Jewel of Technical. Episode 2, A Kind of Princess. Episode 3, Back to Oblivion. And episode 4, The Russian Exchange Student. And episode 5, Countdown to Nowhere. Out of those 5, what was your favorite from those first 5?
See, I'm torn between Countdown to Nowhere and Back to Oblivion.
Okay.
I like Back to Oblivion. That's the one with Abe Vigoda, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, as
the
the crazy man in the junkyard, you know.
I'm a fan of his. Like,
okay.
Most people are gonna think saying I'm a fan of his are gonna think maybe from Godfather, but actually I'm a fan of him because he's in Good Burger.
That's right. I forgot about Good Burger. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was a big Keenan and Kel fan when I was a kid, so seeing him in Good Burger, and then when I finally got the, I told you before, I bought the show on a bootleg DVD years and years before it had an official release.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw he was in it, like, I just had the biggest smile on my face. I was just like, yeah, it's him. But in Countdown to Nowhere, the only reason I'm torn is because obviously I could be wrong, that's the original pilot, isn't it?
Yeah, Countdown to Nowhere was the original pilot, but
so it's hard for me to choose between the two.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go with Back to Oblivion, just because Countdown to Nowhere isn't great.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say my favorite out of those first 5 is probably Jewel of Technical. Because it introduced us to Leo and Lex. It kind of set up, like, the stakes, the world of Superboy in a way. And it was something supernatural that Superboy had to fight. That rock. So I really liked that. Back to Oblivion was pretty cool. Like you said with Abe Vigoda. Yeah. He was great.
I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah. He was great. The idea of testing Superboy, and I think Superboy got shot for the first time in that episode, and him jump back and save Lana. That was great. I love
it when he's like, he gets put into, I think it's like a trash compactor type thing, and he smashes his way out the side. Like, it's pretty similar to that scene in Superman 3.
Yeah,
where he bursts his way out. Like, it reminded me of that. And Superman 3 isn't the best movie, but I think it has some really good moments in, and that's one of them.
Yeah. I mean, they did a lot of... It's funny that Superboy was in a junkyard, and Superman 3, he was in a junkyard. Superman was in a junkyard, so... Yeah.
And both times they get put into a thing that's supposed to crush them, and they burst their way out the side.
that poor trash compactor. Superboy and Superman do not like trash compactors, so... And they're brutal to them, so... But yeah, like, I'd have to say Jewel of Technical because it got the show going, and I think... the action and, like, just the pace, like, that's what they wanted to strive for through the series. And like I said, Superboy fighting something supernatural, I think was always really cool to see. So out of those first 5, I'd say Jewel of Technical, and then the close runner-up would be Countdown to Nowhere because that is the unofficial pilot, and Superboy landing on the helicopter pad. Or
and he introduces himself.
And he introduces, I mean, like, John's acting in that is not the best, but just the way he says it, I think was really, really cool. Like, I'm Superboy and I'm here to fight for truth and justice in the American way. Yeah. So
I just wish the compositing with the chroma key was a little bit better in that.
Right. But But again,
the effects of, like, it's some of the worst effects in Superboy.
But again, the show was just starting out. They had those initial 13, and you could see where they put the budget, for flying, and the other stuff kind of fell to the wayside. But
it's completely forgivable.
Yeah, exactly. Again, they were just trying to figure out how to make a television show because, like I said, it was the Salkinds' first foray into television, and they didn't know. They had no idea. Season 1 was their testing ground. So
yeah.
So the next
I mean,
five.
Superman hadn't been live action on television since George Reeves.
That's
Well,
right.
actually, maybe there was that one special where Adam West and Burt Ward came back. I forget what it was called.
Yeah.
It's like Legends of the Superheroes or something like that.
Yeah, but I mean, they weren't doing anything as special
Yeah.
effect heavy as this,
No,
you know.
not even close.
So
And I'm not going to count the Superman musical.
yeah, no, we're not counting that.
Yeah, let's just try and forget that ever existed.
Mm-hmm. So the next 5 episodes we have in season 1, we have Bring Down the House, The Beast and the Beauty, The Fixer, The Alien Solution, and Troubled Waters. Hands down, like out of these 5, it's definitely the Alien Solution.
Of course.
Which was directed by Colin Chilvers and written by Andy Helfer and Mike Carlin. Again, like, this is what they wanted to establish with
it was the
with
turning
the series.
point for the show.
Right. You know, it's funny because the whole idea of an alien, like, from another world, it was kind of like Lobo. Like, they were trying to introduce, like, Lobo in a way. Like,
very similar.
Yeah, trying to get the last of your race, or trying to find the last of the race and add it to, like, this alien was trying to add it to his collection of the fiercest warriors in the universe. So it would make sense that he wanted Superboy, because he is the last Kryptonian. So
obviously there's a tiny element of Brainiac in there as well. Like, instead
that's
of
right.
like putting a city in a bottle, he's putting the greatest champions of different worlds in bottles.
Mm-hmm. And stasis. That was another cool idea, was that they weren't dead. They were just in stasis, and he would inhabit their bodies and use them. I mean, I just wished, again, we talked about this in our commentary track for the 2-part Bizarro. This show could have utilized another 20 minutes, big time,
Definitely.
and could have expanded the ideas on villains and on storylines and just made it a full realized story. A more well-rounded, I shouldn't say fully realized, but a more well-rounded story. Like, the story threads that were left because of the timing constraints, I think it would have made a lot of the villains and a lot of the storylines, like, fleshed out even more. And it would, and I think, like, the Superboy series would have, you know, gone on to even more success. I mean, it was a successful show, but I think some of the stories and some of the ideas that they presented were just, you know, they were groundbreaking. They kind of blazed the trail for, as we talked about in our commentary, you know, future Superman incarnations and future stories. So, but yeah, I think you're right. Alien Solution it was the turning point of the Superboy series for sure.
And it's definitely one. It should have been the first 2-part episode. But
Yes.
I'm guessing that because of the way that this one turned out is why when they bring it back for Revenge of the Alien, it is the first 2-part episode.
Right.
I think they were like, yeah, we like this story, but we didn't have enough time, so yeah.
Yeah.
Is it? I think it's the only 2-part episode in season 1 as well, Revenge of the Alien.
That's right. That's the only 2-parter in the first season. So,
yeah.
Should we go on to the next 5?
Definitely.
Okay, so the next 5 episodes, we have episodes 11 through 15. So episode 11 was The Invisible People, directed by Jackie Cooper, Perry White from the Superman films. Episode 12 was Kryptonite Kills, also directed by Jackie Cooper. 13 and 14 were the episodes we just mentioned, Revenge of the Alien Part 1 and Part 2. And episode 15, Stand Up and Get Knocked Down, which was directed by David Grossman. Sorry. So
this is so difficult because I like all 5 of these episodes.
You could leave out Invisible People for me. That was one of those episodes.
I like that one. I like the themes of that episode quite a bit.
I just felt like
it's not perfectly realized, I grant you.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I like the idea of it. I like.
It's one of those.
Yeah.
It's one of those episodes I don't think I've seen in a long time.
When I rewatched it earlier this year, and it's a lot better than I remember.
Okay.
Than I remembered. Yeah.
Well,
I like the idea of it. I like the.
I
just think it's got a good message to it.
Well, I think I liked Stand Up and Get Knocked Down a lot more than Invisible People because I love seeing TJ trying out his comedy skills and him realizing, man, I suck. I'm so bad. And then him getting in trouble.
Invisible People out of those 5 is probably my least favorite, but I do like it a lot.
Yeah.
But Stand Up and Get Knocked Down.
It was a fun episode.
I love TJ as a character, and it was a really fun.
It was a fun
episode.
And TJ out in front of the car as the car's like about to run him over, and him doing the Superboy, the Superman shirt rip, and there and Superboy saving him, at the end. That was great. That was so funny.
In an episode about stand-up comedy, it's funny that the funniest moment in it doesn't actually involve any stand-up comedy.
Yeah. But it was good. I thought that was a good episode. That was a real.
Yeah. I like it a lot.
Kryptonite Kills, the introduction of Kryptonite was awesome. Yeah. That was a great episode.
It's between this and Revenge of the Alien is where it gets difficult for me, because Kryptonite Kills, the fact that it's the first Kryptonite episode, makes me want to choose that. Yeah. But then Revenge of the Alien is so good.
Yeah, you know what? We showed when I was at the last Superman celebration, we showed in its entirety the 3 episodes of the Alien from the first season, because John James Newton was at the celebration. We had a screening room and showed all 3 of them. People stood up and clapped at the end of those 3 episodes. I had a group of people in front of me turn to me and go, "I've never seen this show. Is there more?" I go, "Oh yeah, there's 3 more seasons of this." So,
this is season 1. You should see 3 and 4.
Right.
They're amazing.
But it's just so funny that Superman fans are still discovering this for the first time. Yeah.
It's Warner Brothers' fault because they sort of buried it for so long.
But it was kind of gratifying to see, other Superman fans and Superboy fans get up and clap and cheer at all the right parts. And this is a 30-year-old plus show. Yeah. So, the nostalgia factor is still there for this thing, and you gotta love it. So
it's mad to me. Season 1's older than I am. only by 1 year, but still, it's technically older than I am.
Tom, don't date yourself. Come on, don't date yourself. But no, that my favorites out of these 5, I'm gonna go with the obvious: Revenge of the Alien Part 1 and 2, because it was just 2 really well-told stories by, again, Andy Helfer and Mike Carlin, who know their stuff when it comes to Superman. And it was just great. They furthered the series, and the action and the character development was great in both of these. So
how good was Jonathan Kent when he gets possessed?
Stuart Whitman.
Stuart Whitman. He's great as Jonathan Kent anyway in this.
Yeah.
But when he becomes evil and he's sort of he's being kind of a creep to Lana, it's this guy's a really legit actor.
Well,
he's great.
You can tell when he's really good, the eyebrows are nice and relaxed. When he's evil, his eyebrows get really menacing. So the eyebrows do not lie on Stuart Whitman. And it's sad that he passed away a couple months ago. He did pass away. He was 92 and passed away. And he was funny enough, he was a professional boxer back in the day. So,
wow. And
he was known for his westerns as an actor in the 50s or the 40s and the 50s. So yeah, great actor. Again, Ilya and the Salkins, they really brought in great guest stars to the series. Like George Chakiris, Stuart Whitman, Salome Jens, who played Martha Kent. Really great actors they brought in to support John James Newton and Stacy Haiduk. First-time actors. This was their first break with Stacy and John's, into this show, into the business. So to surround them with really established actors from yesteryear and give them that confidence to carry a show, it really shows, in these episodes. So
now, how cool is it as well, though, that the actor that plays Superboy's father looks so much like Richard Donner?
We get that all the time, right? All the time. He looks exactly like Richard Donner.
I would ask Elia Salkind if that was a conscious decision, but I don't want to get slapped.
Maybe it was. I don't know. Maybe it was. But let's look at the next
Yeah,
five. You wanna look at the next five or
absolutely.
okay?
Let's
Let's
do
look
it.
at the next five. So episode 16 is meet Mr. Mixus Pitalik. Say that 5 times fast. Episode 17, Bird Woman of the Swamps. Episode 18, Terror from the Blue. Episode 19, War of the Species. And episode 20, Little Hercules.
See, this is another tough one, just out of two. It's Mr. Mixus Pidlick or Little Hercules. Like, on the
Yeah.
one hand,
Yeah.
Mixus Pidlick is fantastic in this.
Yes.
But on the other hand, the other episode's got Joaquin Phoenix
Yeah.
in a Superman costume, flying around and using heat vision.
I'm gonna
30
go.
years before Joker.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with meet Mr. Mixus Pitalik because it was a Denny O'Neil story, and Denny just passed away, and he's known for his Batman stories and for revitalizing Batman in the comics. So he's a legend. So I'm gonna go with meet Mr. Mixus Pitalik. That was my favorite out of those five. Yeah,
It is the better episode, but it is just still so awesome that Little Hercules has Joaquin Phoenix, and his hair is almost exactly the same as it is in Joker.
it is. Isn't that weird? It's so weird.
It is. It's proper strange.
And I wonder where his Superboy costume is. I wonder where that ended up.
Yeah, it was clearly made for him.
Right. I wonder if he has it. That'd be so funny if he has it.
I bet. I mean, they would have no other use for it, so it would not surprise me if they gave it to him at the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be
Either
interesting.
that or it's just like in Elias Salkind's just got it in storage.
Yeah, I don't know. That'd be interesting to find out where that's at. So,
Yeah.
so let's.
It's a shame if he's not on Twitter, but even if he was, I very much doubt he would respond to a tweet that I send him asking
Right.
about that.
It's gotta be
I don't know.
It's gotta be somewhere. Maybe it's down at the Superman Museum down in Southern Illinois here. In my home state. So I don't know. They have a ton of stuff. They have stuff that they don't even realize that they have. So, and hopefully we have them on the podcast and talk to them about their amazing collection that they have down there. So,
Yeah.
So let's wrap up this podcast and talk about the last 5 episodes of season 1. So episode 21 was Mutant. Episode 22, The Phantom of the Third Diversion. Episode 23, Black Flamingo. Episode 24, Hollywood. Episode 25, Succubus. And episode 26, Luther Unleashed. Funny, because the last handful of episodes were directed by David Nutter. He put his stamp on this first season, for sure.
Oh, definitely.
So
Now, out of those
6.
last
Sorry,
final
6. I said 6. I said 5. I can't count. Sorry. So yeah, the last 6.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, should we just count Luther Unleashed as the best one, the final block? Just so we
Yeah,
can choose out of
I
the
see
other 5?
those last 3 were really good, I have to say. Even though I like
I'm not a big fan of Succubus, but I
Succubus-
like Hollywood.
yeah,
quite a lot.
Succubus was a little weird.
And I like Mutant as well.
Mutant was good. It's funny because Succubus with Sybil Danning, that was odd. It was such an odd episode.
It is a strange one.
Yeah, Hollywood was great to see Clark back in the 30s, especially with that.
I think that's my favorite of this block.
Yeah,
Hollywood.
that was great because I think that was the whole time travel angle and Clark being thrown back into the 30s and trying to get home and falling in love with that actress. That was really a great episode because it took Clark out of his element of being at Schuster and being Superboy, and it just was a great episode. Luther Unleashed was again, they go back to the comics. Superboy saving Lex and accidentally blowing chemicals through his hair and Lex becoming bald. That was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that episode. That's why I don't want to count out of the last block of 6. I'm just going to say it's the last 5 plus Luther Unleashed, just so I don't have to say that Luther Unleashed isn't my favorite.
Yeah. But
so Hollywood and then Luther Unleashed.
yeah,
easily.
definitely Hollywood and then Luther Unleashed. I mean, Black Flamingo was kind of interesting. Superboy undercover as this kind of 80s rocking or 80s biker guy.
Yeah,
with the
that had some
sunglasses.
fun stuff.
It was funny with the mullet, the mullet, which is weird because years later when they killed off Superman comes back with a mullet. It's just like yeah, like again, Superboy did a lot of first and introducing the mullet onto Superboy or Superman, like yeah, they did it first. So
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely Luther Unleashed was my favorite, and Hollywood was my second favorite out of those block of 6. Sorry, I said 5 earlier. 6. I can't count. It's early. it's in the afternoon here. So, but yeah, like the first.
I do quickly want to touch on Mutant though, because I do like that episode quite a bit.
Yeah.
I love how. I am thinking of the right one, I don't know, where there's all the mutant characters and then there's the one woman who looks normal, but it turns out she's the mutant.
Yeah.
That's the one? That is the episode.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, Sky.
It's been a while since I've seen it, but I did like that twist that she's sort of a throwback to before the radiation mutated everyone.
Right. Well, it's funny because Sky Aubrey, his character is called Val. So I wonder if she was Kryptonian or something, or well, like a cousin of the Kryptonians or some sort. It was just interesting. Or were they?
Val is short for Valerie anyway.
Okay, interesting.
But
yeah,
my great aunt name is Val. So.
Okay.
And you've got Valerie. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Valerie Perrine.
Yes.
Superman movie as Miss Teschmacher.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if it was a reference to her in some way. I don't know. Probably not. It's probably just a name they pulled out of a hat.
Crazy parallels all the time we're discovering in the world of Superman and Superboy. But Sky Aubrey was married to Ilya Salkind at the time. And she
I did not know that.
Yeah, she was in this episode in season 1, and we'd see her later in season 2 as Tiger Eye in the season 2 finale. So
I never put that together.
Yeah, so we saw her twice. We saw her twice on the series.
I've got to go back and rewatch Tiger Eye. It's been so long since I've seen that episode.
Yeah, it was when we get to season 2, that's one of my favorites too. That was a really good episode. So
yeah, it's been literally years since I've seen that episode.
Jeez.
I don't remember even really anything about it.
Wow. But let's wrap up the podcast. So Tom, thank you for being on episode 2 of the Superboy Legacy podcast. And for the podcast, I'm Sam Rizzo.
I'm Tom Gallagher.
And thank you for listening to episode 2. Don't forget to subscribe on SoundCloud and YouTube at Superboy Legacy. And for any Superboy news or any future podcasts and commentary tracks, go to superboylegacy.com. Thank you for listening.